Owners of a South Austin restaurant accused of selling heroin is out of jail tonight.
Today, 45-year-old Amado Pardo bonded out. Her husband's hearing is tomorrow.
He's a two-time convicted murderer charged with running the drug ring. So just how did Jovita's restaurant get a liquor license? It's a question we started asking last week, then we began digging for answers.
Tonight, Erin Cargile is live with what she uncovered in this KXAN News investigation.
Well, guys, the state agency in charge of issuing those permits, TABC, the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, says they do their homework on restaurant and bar owners and those handling the money through background checks and in-person interviews. But Amado Pardo and his wife were never on their radar, so we asked why. The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission says they don't mess around when it comes to businesses making money off booze.
It's really important to TABC that license and permit holders be good citizens.
In fact, state law bans anyone with a felony from getting one if less than 5 years have passed since their punishment ended. But Jovita's Restaurant and Bar got their original liquor license in December 1994, just 2 years after Amado Pardo's parole ended for his second murder conviction. TABC says his criminal history should have raised red flags back then, but say his name has never been in their system. Agency spokesperson Carolyn Beck says the only two names on the liquor license are Pardo's sister, Jovita Patino, and another woman named Irene Ornelas.
Was the agency as diligent in not only looking at names on the permit, but those people whose hands were in the business?
It's safe to say that we are more diligent now, but it is very difficult to say exactly how diligent we were 10 or 15 years ago.
Beck says the agency also runs checks on the board of directors that must be listed on the application.
If they are on the board of directors, they have to meet the same criteria as an individual applicant.
We showed TABC Jovita's original business documents filed with the Secretary of State 4 months before the original liquor license was issued. Pardo and his wife Amanda were both listed as directors, but their names were nowhere to be found on the application turned into TABC. The agency admits it never compared records with the Secretary of State's office.
If there's evidence that somebody on the board of directors had a criminal history that made them not qualified for the permit, then we will try to figure out where that slipped through the cracks.
Pardo's involvement with the restaurant was no mystery to police and the FBI. At a press conference last week, Austin police said law enforcement have had their suspicions of Pardo's involvement with selling drugs for 3 decades. Investigators say over the last year, Pardo and his team have been raking in an estimated $3,000 to $6,000 a day in heroin sales.
He's been in business. Jovita's been around for quite a while. Now, he's also been in the heroin business for quite a while. So, you can imagine if money's being laundered through the business, and it's a very visible point for people to come in and out of, doesn't draw attraction.
State records show Jovita's reported nearly $200,000 in alcohol sales last year. So was that alcohol or heroin sales? TABC could have run across Amado Pardo's name in 2008, but didn't. She's Amado Pardo's wife, who signed off on this public records report filed with the Secretary of State and the Comptroller's office. Amanda listed herself as the business manager. If TABC would have questioned the name, a background check might have been done, not only on her, but on her husband too. Jovita's just renewed their liquor license in December of last year, providing another chance for the agency to double check who's running and profiting off the restaurant. When it comes to renewals, TABC says they simply run background checks on names already on file.
We don't dig deeper than the applicants unless there's something that, that jumps out at us that makes us believe that we need to do a deeper investigation. There are just too many for us to do a deeper investigation in every renewal.
Our questions now have the agency looking into why they never crossed paths with 2 of the key people who ran Jovita's for nearly 2 decades.
If there is a situation where something looks like it might have fallen through the cracks, that somebody holds a permit who doesn't meet the criteria, then it is something that we're going to look at and figure out what went wrong, and if needed, make changes to our processes to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Now tonight, TABC told us it's too early to call Pardo and his wife key players in the business, even though police continue to refer to them as owners. And according to county tax records available for anyone to view online, Amanda owns the restaurant. TABC also tells us when they renewed Jovita's liquor license last December, they had no idea the business was at the center of a criminal investigation. We'll continue to follow TABC's investigation. For now, we're live in the studio. Erin Cargile, KXAN News.